Rockefeller. And the reason why I'm asking is because I remember he opened up Volume 2. He was on the intro. And there was a rumor around that album that was Jay's final album. So it looked like Jay had it all laid out for him to blow up.
I mean, I don't think Bleek wanted to take over. I don't think he had the ability to, Jay was writing a lot of his rhymes. So if Jay retired, that meant he was out of business as well. You know what I'm saying? Like that, Jay couldn't. If he's still making records, Jay can't retire. Jay was writing his records. Ask Bleek about it, But that was Bleek. Put it like this: I could understand Bleek's loyalty to Jay because he had Jay as a ghostwriter. But like Bleek was like someone that I had to like. I remember with Bleek, he was supposed to get on the first side, the A side of a Clue record was a big deal. And we got him Real Estate on a Clue record, A side Privilege. And he was like, I didn't feel like writing a rap or couldn't at the time. And, I had to make the decision to bench him. You know what I'm saying? Like I made the decision like he could sit down because I'm not putting our money into that. He's not going to fight. I'm not fighting harder for him than he fights for himself. So there's always been I've always had to push Bleek to put an album out or, it's like, I don't know. I personally think I wanted more for Bleek than Bleek wanted for himself. Like I would argue with him about, do your own show and do your own. That was our argument. This is what we was always arguing about. It's stop depending on this dude to do everything for you. You got to do it on your own. Like you don't want to be 40 years old just doing interviews, talking about him all day as a business model, and you're still working. Like you still got to move when he say so. That's not what I would consider the perfect life that I would want to work toward. And he had I took Bleek to Europe with me. You know what I'm saying? So he could. I always wanted Bleek to do well. I consider him a little brother. I love him to death. Pause. I love him all. I ain't got no problem.
Hey, yo, so Dame Dash was on this podcast, and they asked him about Memphis Bleek. He said when Jay retired, he had everything laid out for Bleek to take over the rock. But Dame was like, I don't think he wanted it because Jay was writing all his rhymes. So if Jay retires, that puts him out of business. So Bleek responded to that saying, if Jay-Z wrote all his records and people were calling him whack, doesn't that make Jay-Z whack for writing it? So Dame also said he had put a lot of real estate into the Clue album, which was a big deal at the time. And Bleek told him that he didn't feel like writing. He had other stuff going on. So Dame was like, yo, I'm not finna go harder for you than you going hard for yourself, man. I'm not gonna do it. So he said he used to push Bleek to do albums, to do shows on his own, stop depending on Jay so much, to do everything for you. So Bleek said he finna have this Rock Solid podcast in January to address all these issues. So my thoughts on this is Memphis Bleek is a very good artist to me, man. Do I think Jay-Z wrote all his rhymes? No, I don't. But I do believe he wrote some of them because he admitted it himself that he wrote the Coming of Age record, man. He told him the faster you learn this verse, the faster you get on, my nigga. So I agree with Dame Dash about that part. And I agree with him that Memphis Bleek needed to work harder, man, because he's more of a soldier to me than a boss, because if Jay retired, you know what I'm saying, he was next up in line, but all of a sudden Cameron said he was the president of Rockefeller. Remember that? And they said he made his own office. He started making moves, booking his own shows. And they was like, yo, do we got to come to UB to get our video budget? Remember that? But it seems like Dame Dash been talking about everybody and everything that happened on Rockefeller. This was a long podcast. I'm just breaking down the part where he was talking about Memphis Bleek, because Memphis Bleek responded this morning. You know what I'm saying? But I do like his albums, man. He has some fire albums, man. That made, man. That coming of age album. He had some fire verses on the Dynasty album. It was a cool artist to me. But as far as taking over, nah, I don't think he had it in him, man. He really did rely on Jay a little bit too much. Like, I want to be my own man. I want to have my own company. I want to do my own business. I don't want to be in anybody's shadows. And every time I do a podcast interview, all they talk about is Jay-Z and not me. I would feel some type of way, man. But y'all comment below, man. Let me know what y'all think about this, man. Do y'all agree with Dame Dash? Or do y'all agree with Memphis Bleek, man? Comment below, man. Be on the lookout for Standing on Business in stores tomorrow. Yeah. Go cop that thing. It's fire. Alright, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to the city. I'm out of here. One love. Peace.